Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving host, Shorty, and today, brand new one from Whatnot Publishing called Ninja Funk, which, yes, I totally got because I like the title, I like the cover, and I like the fact that it gets to support a small new company. And sometimes you do just want something new, something different that turns about left field and blows your socks clean off. There's no doubt in my mind that the Ninja Funk creators set out with this idea totally like their intent. The purpose of this review is to be answer the question, are my socks still on after I read the first issue? First off, it's only an issue one, so maybe, just maybe, the expectation was too high. Maybe, though, that's just me going in, already expecting it to fail. Let's not do that. Let's fully engage with high expectation possible, and damn the negativity. Let's kick things off with something that never usually comes up, not that it never does, looking at you, that Texas Blood, but the soundtrack to this comic book. Now, I'm not going to get into whether the tunes are any good. It's a genre where I have to admit my lack of knowledge. Throwing some black metal, some brutal riffs and too much bass, and I'm far more at home, but this is EDM, and although I can tell you the scale is huge, all I can really talk about what it does for the engagement and enjoyment of the comic book. The fact that each QR code for the music sits inside the art of the book is a big plus, only slightly marred by it making me think I may have missed one on a couple of occasions, and it did mean spending longer than I expected on certain pages. Now, there's no real reason for me to have done this. It's not as if having the tunes would have stopped my enjoyment or anything, and I certainly couldn't imagine making sure I scanned every one of the codes every time I read the issue, but I'm a completionist, and if the creators had included it as a way to build up experience, why wouldn't I take it at least once? And the music does help build a sense of mood. The scale of the music builds on the action that's actually taking place on the page, and I have to give props to the creators for the willingness to risk doing something that people dump on. It is new. Now, the intention is good though, and since it did something positive, I'm going to come down in favour of it, even if I never listen to any music outside of the review. Some people, though, are media purists and gatekeepers, and could very well use this as a tool to hammer the book, something on the lines of, if the book was good enough, it would need a soundtrack. The fact that it can survive without the tunes does prove that wrong, and I do think they add something. Mostly in terms of the scale for me, it's a big over-the-top action kind of thing, and the scale is huge in the comic book too. We're talking about the entire world in danger. It is wrong, just off-key, off-kilter. And there's a drive to make it a better place. Nefarious forces are going to work to maintain the status quo. Of course they are. And for me, the idea of changing things in big ways against powerful organizations desperate to keep everything the same, well, that really appeals to me. Doing so with music even more so, even if it's not punk music. High ideals, though, do not make a great comic book. If anything, I'm going to expect to be even better if it's something that want me to rave about it on this review channel. It's far too easy just to give a thumbs up to anything that agrees with my outlook on the world, so instead I expect great things. Apart from the music, that means we need killer art, great script, and some brilliant storytelling. The art then, well, it's rough. Yeah, but I like rough. It's kind of loose, which I like as well. It is also full of dynamism and action, which I really like. The action is incredibly brutal, and the motion we get from still images is superb. What it lacks a little is consistency in that regard, though. I'm not going to say quality so much, but maybe a little bit. Some of the slower scenes, it feels like the artist is pushing against the stillness. The lines are fluid and anarchic, not chaotic, though, which is nice, and it feels like they need to be showing more than just the main characters filling in time with plot and world-building dialogue. Sometimes it feels like the characters are deliberately posed in more interesting dynamic ways, just when all they're doing is kind of sitting around talking. I do find it hard to level this as a cutting criticism, no. How many times have I applauded art that drags the eye around the page and makes you double and triple check as you trying to grasp everything it's trying to do? In this case, I think there's something to be said for a rise and fall in pacing, though. Maybe, and just maybe, trying to blow my socks off might have been far easier if I were given the time to sit and get comfy in them. Don't really get a sense of that in this comic book. They're pushing hard all the time. It's summed up early on for me. There's a huge entrance of the main ninja funkers, death and dismemberment all over the shop, and then we have a cat that poops on another character's shoes. There's words said, the cat gets sprayed with a water bottle, and poop does end up on the shoes. But it's like a full-on anime fight scene when all this is happening. It's just too much. This is followed by another bit where it's almost a fight scene because they're annoyed about what happened with the poo, and it almost goes over into violence at this point. And there's some big cliches dropped at this point. Oh, I've always wondered which one was us winning a fight. Well, that makes you a bad friend. Yeah, very good. Ennis did this better in Hitman. But he did have the advantage of building up the characters' personalities and backstories and gave his two characters reasons to throw down, and also paid up so much when they didn't. Here, I don't really know who these people are, why they're even friends, and honestly, feels like it would serve the story better at this point just for there to be violence rather than trying to figure out why there wasn't, or why there would be in the first place. Then, a blast from the past, an X turns up, and there's a face slapping after a superb entrance shot, by the way, that certainly looks like it should have been accompanied by a QR code and music. There's accusations and a chance of further reconciliation. But again, it feels like there's too much going on. I still don't know what's going on with this relationship. I don't know anything about it. What I do find out more is the huge big plan to save the world. But that isn't enough. It does let me down. Yeah, shoot stories are great, and I love the idea of dropping readers into a story where the world doesn't make sense on a first pass. That's absolutely fine. Build your world as we engage with it. But if you're going to do this all at the expense of characters and their relationships with each other, then it's sad to say, but it's going to leave me feeling like something is missing from the total experience. Thankfully, though, the first issue ends in a way that leaves it open to build up an awful lot of stuff. There's 3 more issues to come, and all I can really do is hope. Really hope that they're going to take some time for us to get used to these characters and find out who they are and why they're doing things, because otherwise I am going to be a little bit disappointed. I want a fully rounded experience, not just big, over beautiful action. I want to know who these people are. That's it from me today. I will be back, obviously, tomorrow with more reviews. But if you don't want to miss out anything, just make sure you hit the subscribe button. Until I see you again, though, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.